The General Statistics Office successfully conducted Viet Nam's national survey on people with disabilities at the end of 2016, early 2017, with technical support from UNICEF. This is the first time Vietnam conducted a large-scale and comprehensive survey, which used the measuring tool sets of international standards on disability. This is one of the first national disability surveys in the world using these measuring tools. According to the survey, Vietnam has more than 6.2 million people with disabilities, of which more than 0.67 million are children and 5.5 million are adults. 5 million households have members with disabilities. More people with disabilities live in rural areas than in urban areas, and more women than men are with disability. The absolute number and proportion of people with disabilities is expected to increase in the future due to speedy population aging. The most common type of disability is related to walking and cognition. For every 100 people, there are 2 who have difficulty taking care of themselves. People with disabilities face multiple barriers to integrating into society and enjoying equality. A positive sign in terms of healthcare is that 9 out of 10 people with disabilities have health insurance, while the proportion of people without disabilities is 8 in 10. Nationwide, of the 10 commune health centers, 6 have rehabilitation programs. The chance of schooling for children with disabilities is much lower than for those without. The net enrollment rate in primary school for children with disabilities is about 89%, while that of children without is over 96%. This gap grows at higher levels of education. Only 1/3 of children with disabilities go on to upper secondary school at the right age, whilst among children without disabilities it is 2/3. For every 100 primary and lower secondary schools, only 3 have suitable infrastructure for children with disabilities. Out of 7 primary and lower secondary teachers, only 1 is trained to teach children with disabilities. The difference is more obvious in vocational training. Out of 100 people with disabilities aged 15 and over, only 7 receive vocational training, while this number among people without disabilities is 22 in 100. People with disabilities have the need to work and earn income in order to be independent, but less than 1/3 of them have a job. Nearly 1 in 5 people with disabilities live in multidimensional poor households, lacking income and access to basic social services. Disability is both a cause and a consequence of poverty. The government has made great efforts to support people with disabilities. Out of 10 people with disabilities, 4 get a monthly subsidy, 5 are supported for health insurance, and 3 receive reduction or exemption of medical expenses. But the living conditions of people with disabilities are still poor. Only half of the households of people with disabilities live in permanent housing. Less than 3/4 of people with disabilities have access to improved source of drinking water and improved sanitation. The rate of people with disabilities having television, internet, computer or mobile phones continues to be much lower than that of people without disabilities. They also face a great barrier to integrating into society. Sustainable life for people with disabilities. Sustainable future for the community. No one left behind.